Did you know that in 2025, multiple countries have completely shut their doors to British citizens? No visas, no entry, and in some cases, not even a transit stop. Imagine arriving at the airport only to be turned away, or worse, facing intense questioning. All because of your passport. Sounds shocking, right? The reasons behind these bans range from political conflicts to security concerns, making once popular destinations completely off limits. Stick around to find out which countries made the list, and don't miss the most unexpected one at the end. You won't believe which destination is now off limits to Brits. Number 10. North Korea. North Korea has always been a highly restricted destination, but in 2025 it has become even more impossible for British travelers to visit. The UK's strained relationship with North Korea, combined with years of sanctions and espionage concerns, has led to the regime viewing British visitors with deep suspicion. Securing a visa was already difficult, but now it's nearly impossible. Even if someone were to get approval, the experience inside North Korea is far from welcoming. The UK official website has reported that many British travelers who have previously visited report intense security checks, strict surveillance, and an overwhelming sense of paranoia from authorities. The UK Foreign Office has issued strong warnings against travel to North Korea. Anyone who enters risks arbitrary detention, interrogation, and complete isolation from the outside world. With no British embassy in the country, getting consular help in an emergency is nearly impossible. For British travelers, North Korea isn't just a difficult destination, it's one of the riskiest places on Earth. 9. Iran. Iran, a country known for its breathtaking architecture and rich culture, has now completely shut its doors to British visitors. Diplomatic tensions between the UK and Iran have only worsened over the years, with both sides imposing sanctions and travel restrictions. In 2025, getting an Iranian visa as a British citizen is almost unheard of. Those who try are met with unexplained rejections, endless delays, or outright bans. Even if a British traveler manages to enter, the experience is nothing short of intimidating. BBC reports suggest that British visitors are heavily monitored, questioned at length, and sometimes even detained for minor infractions. Carrying a simple travel guide or using the wrong social media app can draw unwanted attention from authorities. The UK government has strongly advised against all travel to Iran, citing the growing risk of arbitrary arrests and severe legal consequences. In short, it's no longer a safe destination for British travelers. Number 8. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, a nation of rugged mountains and deep cultural history, has become an absolute no-go zone for British travelers. The Chatham House noted that since the Taliban took control in 2021, conditions have only become more hostile for Western visitors. For British citizens, the situation is even more severe. The Taliban views any Western presence with deep suspicion, making British travelers easy targets. The UK's past military involvement in Afghanistan has also led to lingering hostility, further increasing the risks for British visitors. Currently, getting a visa is nearly impossible, even for humanitarian workers and journalists. Those who do manage to enter face extreme danger, including the risk of being kidnapped, interrogated, or detained indefinitely. The UK government strongly advises against all travel to Afghanistan, as there is no British embassy and no way to get help if something goes wrong. In short, visiting Afghanistan as a British citizen in 2025 is not just difficult, it's life-threatening. 7. Russia. Russia, the world's largest country, is home to stunning landscapes, historic cities, and a deep cultural heritage. But for British travelers, visiting in 2025 is nearly impossible. Political tensions between the UK and Russia have reached new heights, leading to severe travel restrictions. Following the UK's strong stance on the Ukraine war and economic sanctions against Russia, Euronews highlighted that Russia has responded by making it nearly impossible for British travelers to get visas. Even those who have valid visas face lengthy questioning at the border and increased surveillance throughout their stay. There have been reports of British citizens being detained or denied entry at Russian airports, sometimes for reasons that remain unclear. The UK government warns that diplomatic support is extremely limited, making Russia a high-risk destination for Brits. Despite its beauty, Russia is now an unpredictable and dangerous place for British travelers. Number 6. Venezuela. Venezuela, once known for its gorgeous Caribbean coastline and breathtaking natural landscapes, has become a country riddled with political and economic turmoil. For British travelers, visiting Venezuela in 2025 is a dangerous gamble. The UK's political stance on Venezuela's leadership and human rights concerns has led to a complete breakdown in diplomatic relations. British citizens now face extreme difficulties in obtaining visas, and even those with valid documents are often turned away at the border. Inside the country, conditions are incredibly unstable. Crime rates are among the highest in the world, with foreign travelers often targeted for theft, extortion, or even kidnapping. Basic services like healthcare and transportation are unreliable, making an emergency situation even more dangerous. The UK government has issued a severe travel warning for Venezuela, advising British citizens to stay away at all costs. With no diplomatic support and an unpredictable security situation, Venezuela has become a no-go zone for British travelers in 2025. If you're finding this list surprising, just wait until you hear which country takes the #1 spot. It's a place that once welcomed British tourists with open arms, but now it has completely banned them. Before we reveal the top 5, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more global travel updates. Which country on the list has shocked you the most so far? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's continue with the top countries that British travelers are banned from in 2025. 4. China. China, home to some of the world's most iconic landmarks like the Great Wall and Forbidden City, has taken a dramatic turn when it comes to British visitors. According to the UK Parliament, tensions between the UK and China have escalated over issues like Hong Kong, trade policies, and human rights concerns. As a result, China has tightened its visa requirements for British nationals, making it harder than ever for them to enter the country. Many visa applications are delayed, denied, or subjected to lengthy security checks. Even those who do manage to get in face heavy surveillance, strict internet restrictions, and movement limitations. British citizens report feeling constantly watched by authorities, and minor missteps, such as discussing politically sensitive topics, can lead to unwanted attention from the government. The UK government warns that diplomatic support for British travelers in China is increasingly limited, making it a challenging and high-risk destination in 2025. 3. Myanmar. Myanmar, once a favorite for backpackers and cultural explorers, is now one of the most dangerous places for British travelers. Following the military coup in 2021, Myanmar's leadership has viewed Western nations, including the UK, with deep suspicion. The UK has openly criticized Myanmar's government, resulting in diplomatic fallout and strict travel restrictions for British citizens. For Brits, getting a visa is nearly impossible, and those who do manage to enter face serious risks. Reports indicate that British travelers have been detained, harassed, and even had their personal belongings confiscated. The political climate remains highly unstable, with violent clashes between government forces and opposition groups happening regularly. Many areas once popular with tourists like Bagan and Mandalay are now considered unsafe. The UK government strongly advises against all travel to Myanmar, warning that British citizens who enter could be caught in violent conflicts or targeted by authorities. 2. Belarus. Belarus, a country of lush forests, medieval castles, and Soviet-era history, has become one of the most restricted places for British travelers. The reason? Its close alliance with Russia and involvement in the Ukraine conflict. As the UK has imposed sanctions on both Russia and Belarus, Belarus has responded by making it nearly impossible for British citizens to visit. British nationals now face automatic visa denials, and those who attempt to enter anyway are met with intense scrutiny, questioning, and even detainment at the border. Inside Belarus, the political environment is highly restrictive, with government surveillance making it unsafe for foreigners, especially those from countries critical of the regime. The UK Foreign Office has issued travel warnings, stating that diplomatic support is extremely limited for British travelers in Belarus. For now, Belarus is effectively a no-go zone for British citizens, with little chance of this changing in the near future. 1. Syria. Syria, once a treasure trove of ancient history, now stands as the most dangerous place on the list. Since the outbreak of civil war in 2011, Syria has been plagued by violent conflict, political instability, and humanitarian crises. For British travelers, the risks are far beyond just visa restrictions. Attempting to visit Syria could cost you your life. As noted by The Guardian, the UK's strained relationship with the Syrian government, combined with Syria's internal security concerns, has led to an outright ban on British citizens entering the country. Even if someone were to find a way in, the situation inside Syria is extremely volatile. There is no functioning British embassy in Syria, meaning no diplomatic support for British travelers in case of emergency. Reports suggest that foreigners, especially from Western countries, are often viewed as spies, detained, or even targeted by militant groups. The UK government strongly advises against all travel to Syria, warning that it is one of the most dangerous places in the world for British citizens in 2025. So, there you have it, the 10 countries where British citizens are not allowed in 2025, from North Korea's secretive regime to Syria's war-torn landscapes. These destinations have become impossible or incredibly dangerous for Brits to visit. These bans aren't just about politics. They're about real-world risks, including detainment, extreme surveillance, and even life-threatening situations. While the world remains open in many places, it's crucial for British travelers to stay informed before booking any international trips. But don't worry, there are still stunning, safe destinations to explore. If you're looking for travel inspiration, check out our next video on the 10 most beautiful cities in California. You'll be surprised by how breathtaking some of these places are. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on global travel changes. Until next time, stay informed and travel smart.